Live from downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma's own News on 6 starts now.
An Oklahoma House committee votes to launch an OSBI investigation into allegations that children under DHS care are being abused. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Day. The Criminal Justice and Corrections Committee says reports show the agencies knew about abuse but didn't do anything to stop it. News on 6's Jonathan Cooper has more on the letter they sent to the OSBI. Jonathan?
Well, Craig, the formal letter to the OSBI director comes after a meeting last week where lawmakers invited speakers to discuss criminal offenses and abuse allegations involving state agencies. The committee discussed the ongoing lawsuit against Tulsa Juvenile Justice Center that accuses employees of abusing and harassing children in their care. Several other people who work with child welfare cases told the committee they've witnessed what they call criminal conduct in state agencies, like shredding documents and not involving law enforcement in abuse cases. Committee Chairman Justin Humphrey says the reports show the agencies have failed to do their job.
This goes to every one of us. We have a duty to protect children. That's what we're here for. And so, again, it's just unbelievable what we're talking about.
State law allows the committee to start an OSBI investigation with a majority vote. The committee is asking the OSBI to investigate all complaints and reports of abuse at DHS, the Office of Juvenile Affairs, and the Oklahoma Commission on Children and Youth. It's also asking for an investigation on at least 6 specific child welfare cases. DHS says it advocates for transparency and will fully cooperate with any investigation. Jonathan Cooper, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
A Tulsa business is damaged after a driver crashed into it today. It happened near 11th and Peoria. Tulsa police say the hand throttle got stuck while someone was moving a car, sending it backwards into the shop. Nobody was hurt. People in the Oklahoma City area spent the day picking up fallen tree limbs and debris while also working to get damage estimates from last night's huge hailstorm. Check this out. Some volunteers went around Rose Creek Golf Club in Edmond cleaning up countless divots left by the hail. The hail came just before the club's biggest tournament of the year, so people stepped up to help patch up the course.
It's no different than if somebody hit a ball onto the green really hard and you got to fix the divot there. The only difference is we have about 2 million of them compared to 1.
The golf club says it is thankful for all the help, and the tournament will tee off tomorrow as planned.
I tell you what, earlier this morning there was a lot of patchy, dense fog, and it wasn't patchy. It was just widespread dense fog. A lot of that was showing up on the satellite picture early in the morning. Took a while to burn that off. Once we got rid of it, turned out to be a gorgeous afternoon again. And we had a little bit lower humidity, making it comfortable, but we did bump up to 84. We were forecasting about 81, 82, so we added a couple extra degrees to that. If you're south and east, you were in the upper 70s to near 80. Again, with lower humidity, very comfortable. It's also allowing nighttime lows to cool off faster. Airport reading in Bartlesville is down to 59, as well as around Bristow. 72, though, here still in Tulsa, but we're in for another cool night. A few areas, especially near water bodies, will have some more patchy, dense fog. All right, fair sunshine ahead. That's good. Fairly warm and fairly dry. I think you know where I'm going with that. More on your forecast coming up.
Thanks, Travis. Several folks from across Green Country are headed to Florida to help with the aftermath from Hurricane Helene. Oklahoma Task Force 1, PSO, and GRDA are all sending crews to Florida and Georgia to help with hurricane recovery efforts. Verdigris Valley Rural Electric is also sending a crew. The hurricane is a Category 1 right now, but could strengthen to a Category 4 with winds of 150 miles per hour before it hits sometime tomorrow. Tulsa police arrest a man they say tried to rob a grocery store. That is, until the owner pulled out a pistol. An affidavit says Gerald Ross picked out some food at the store, put it on the register, and gave the cashier a note that said to give him money and she wouldn't get hurt. Well, investigators say she gave the note to her husband, who pulled the gun, and Ross left empty-handed. Officers arrested him for attempted robbery. The Diocese of Tulsa in eastern Oklahoma is preparing for the first funeral for a bishop in the 51-year history of the diocese. Bishop Emeritus Edward Slattery died September 13th after a series of strokes. Pope John Paul II, before he was canonized as a saint, ordained Slattery as bishop in 1994. Slattery led the diocese for 22 years and served the church for almost 60.
He loved being a bishop, he loved being a priest, he loved his people, and we're going to miss him.
Holy Family Cathedral will welcome dozens of clergy members and thousands of people coming to pay their respects. Services for Bishop Slattery start Thursday afternoon with public visitation and end Saturday morning with his burial at Calvary Cemetery. A family is remembering a missing Tulsa woman tonight on what would have been her 64th birthday. Tina Pitts disappeared from her apartment at 21st and Mingo in November of 2006. No one's been charged in the case. News on 6's Caitlin Deggs is live with why her family won't stop fighting for answers. Caitlin?
Craig, Tina Pitts' sister Angie Pitts says she just wants answers to what happened in 2006. And she hopes that each day is one step closer to finding out what happened.
Happy birthday to you.
Family and friends have celebrated Tina Pitts' birthday every year since she disappeared nearly 20 years ago. She has never been found. And even though investigators found her blood in her boyfriend's truck, no one has been charged in this case. Her sister Angie Pitts is behind the efforts to figure out what happened to Tina.
I got the drive, I got the spirit. I'm just ready to find my sister. It's been years after years after years, and I got that same energy.
Angie hopes her family is one day closer to getting an answer.
I don't like this feeling of not knowing what my sister is. I'd rather know that if she's gone, she's gone. Let me bury her, my family be at peace.
She knows there's someone out there with answers and urges them to come forward.
It might be your family one day. And if so, I'll help you. I'll support you.
Angie says she has no plans of stopping her search.
Until I'm gone, and I'm raising all the kids and nieces and nephews and everybody else to do it. It's gonna go, baby, and I'm gonna be here a long time.
She wishes she could tell Tina just how much she means to their family.
I love you, we miss you, and I know you're at peace with God and my mother, and I'm gonna stand for you, I'm gonna fight for you, and I'm gonna get justice for you, one way or the other, and you know that.
And the investigation is still ongoing. If you know anything that could help investigators, call Tulsa Crime Stoppers at 918-596-COPS. Live in downtown Tulsa, Caitlin Deggs, Oklahoma's Own, News on 6.
The State Department of Human Services decides not to go through with proposed cuts to its child care budget, at least for now. DHS says its spending levels right now are too high because COVID-related money has run out. It initially proposed cutting subsidies for 15% of Oklahoma families. Well, several child care providers say the changes would have made it more expensive for families and would hurt their businesses. DHS now says it's postponing any changes so people have more time to give feedback. In our Oklahoma Zone Focus on Kids, the State Department of Education is offering free intensive math tutoring for 7th and 8th graders. It's part of the state's plan to help kids get caught up on math skills they may have lost during the pandemic. Well, students can get 50-minute virtual sessions with certified teachers in groups of up to 4 students. They'll meet 3 times a week for 10 weeks. Sessions start October 6th and they run through December. You can register online through the State Education Department's website. Starting this spring, you'll be able to fly nonstop from Tulsa to Nashville. Southwest Airlines announced the new service and says it will run once a day each way, year-round. It's a 90-minute flight. Flights start April 8th next year. They're already booking those flights. We are less than 24 hours away from the Tulsa State Fair. Travis has the forecast for 11 days of awesome across our Osage Casino Skycam network. Plus, we talk to people who live near the fairgrounds who hope others will use the State Fair shuttles instead of parking in front of their homes. And award-winning musician Tom Morello was at Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa tonight to get some recognition.
I'm Leanne Taylor.
I'm Dave Davis. Tomorrow at 6 in the morning, the Tulsa State Fair begins. What you need to know for opening day.
On News on 6 at 9 a.m., my conversation with Oklahoma's own Josh Morrow from The Young and the Restless and his son Crew, who is now on The Bold and the Beautiful.
Join us tomorrow starting at 4:30 on 6 in the morning.
The Tulsa State Fair says it has a lot of parking, but they say the best way to get there is to take the free shuttle on the weekend. Police will be looking for drivers who park illegally in neighborhoods nearby. And some people who live near the fairgrounds tell News on 6's Chloe Abbott why the fair is not 11 days of awesome for them. Chloe?
Craig, neighbors who've lived here for decades tell me the fair is the worst time of year for them. But a man who's lived here for 2 years says it doesn't bother him. Thousands of people going to the Tulsa State Fair will pay for food, rides, and games, but many will skip paying for parking.
It's going to look like total chaos.
The whole neighborhood dreads it every year.
Instead of paying $20 a day to park at the fairgrounds, some will go across the street instead and walk to the fair. Brett Mills lives in the neighborhood where people park.
As long as it's not bothering me or interrupting me, then it really doesn't matter to me, because I would do the same thing if I was in their shoes. If I had the chance to have free parking, I would take advantage of it, so I can't blame them.
But his neighbors see it another way.
People will park like all the way up to the driveway on both sides, and then you're backing blindly, so you can't see if anybody's coming, so you're just like backing up and just praying.
I set a trash can out on the corner of my driveway, and nobody seems to hit it. It always ends up in my yard, and I got to pick it up every night.
The city sends a letter to people who live near the fair every year, outlining the rules.
Yeah, it says you also can't charge them either, so I thought about that.
How does the city or the county have the right to tell me that I can't park a car in my driveway? It's my driveway. I pay property tax for that driveway.
I have a long driveway, and I invite my friends who want to go to the fair to park there, but they're the only ones.
Tulsa police say they will have officers patrolling this neighborhood to ticket or tow cars that are illegally parked, and tickets can cost up to $500. Plus, there are plenty of signs in this area telling drivers where they can't park. Live in Tulsa, Chloe Abbott, Oklahoma Zone, News on 6.
Hundreds of vendors are putting the final touches on their booths before opening day tomorrow. Tanya McPherson runs cooking shows where you can learn about healthy cooking. She comes in from Dallas every year for the fair, and she says she loves Tulsa.
The excitement of being here is what keeps me going. I'd rather work 10 or 11 or 12 hours a day, any day, than to have something not happening.
Tanya says she has been getting plenty of sleep and eating healthy to get ready for the next 11 days of the fair. And News on 6 is proud to once again partner with the Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma to raise money for the Food for Kids program. Our Kiss a Pig contest is back. We're going to be collecting donations at our booth as well as at newson6.com/fair. You can also text PIG to 79640. And when you donate to Food for Kids, you can weigh in on which anchor team, News on 6 anchor team, you'd like to see kiss a pig. You have a choice between the morning team and the evening team, with the emphasis on morning team. Morning team, Green Country. The team getting the most cash at the end of the fair will have to kiss a pig. I'll be at the fair, by the way, all day tomorrow to get things started, so hope you come by and say hello and help out the food bank as well. Well, the Woody Guthrie Center presented an award to singer, songwriter, and activist Tom Morello at Cain's Ballroom tonight. The Grammy-winning musician co-founded Rage Against the Machine. Morello talked about the moment things changed for him when he was encouraged to tone down his music and then got dropped from his label.
I was 27 years old, I had my chance, and I had failed miserably. I was never going to be a rock star, but I was still a musician. So on the day that Lockup broke up, I made myself a solemn vow that I've kept to this day. I was never going to play another note of music that I didn't believe in.
Woody Guthrie's granddaughter, Anna Canoni, presented Morello with the annual award to recognize his contributions to music and activism. Grand Mental Health opens its new mental health campus in Bartlesville. The group says its new facility has several different treatment options and is open 24/7 year-round. Leaders say Washington County was one of their gaps in coverage, and the new facility helps get people the help they need without them having to travel so far.
The more opportunities that we can have for when somebody decides that they're ready for treatment, we want them to not have to search too hard on how to access that care, and we want to be available immediately for them to be able to get those services.
Grand Mental Health says this is its 6th facility in northeastern Oklahoma, and they have plans for 2 more.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
Hey, we had kids in Barnsdall that we had the opportunity to be with today. And again, this was just a few of the good-looking young boys and girls that we were talking about severe weather with. And, of course, Barnsdall was hit with a tornado, so the kids were especially attentive because they know a lot more about meteorology than a lot of other folks. Stacia and Aaron were with me as well. And again, we'll highlight a lot of the kids as we look at tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock with Stacia. But it gives you an idea. Our Wild Weather Roadshow was back and running again, and a lot of great kids there. You have some great kids there, Barnsdall folks. All right, let's find out a little bit more tomorrow. Maybe some of those kids might be headed to Tulsa State Fair. 82 degrees, and it's going to be the beginning of a fair that is pretty doggone awesome. Not too many bad things happening. It's going to be cool in the morning. We could see some more patchy dense fog near the water bodies, especially the bigger lakes and rivers. So don't be surprised for that tomorrow morning. That could slow down. Again, commute earlier this morning was pretty awful because of some of that fog. Overnight through the morning, other than that patchy dense fog in some of the valleys, will be in the 50s. Very, very cool to get us going in the morning. The afternoon, we're looking for temperatures that are going to jump back up and kicking off the fair. And as Craig was mentioning, with the Tulsa State Fair, we'll be out there quite a bit and have an opportunity to see you guys tomorrow and again on Saturday and Sunday. A lot of us are going to be out there. Temperatures are going to be gorgeous tomorrow, though, for the kickoff. And then as we go on into Friday, what about that tropical system and the hurricane and all that that's getting ready to hit into the Gulf of Mexico? Backside of that will start knocking on the door on Friday morning. And then during the day, we'll have clouds moving into right around most of our area, probably not out to central Oklahoma. We'll have some clouds. Could be a few sprinkles, especially closer to the Arkansas border area, but all the rain that we were talking about doesn't look like it's going to materialize as much. Plus, not only the fair, but we've got Black Gold Days in Glenpool. We have the Tallgrass Music Festival at Skytook, Broken Arrow Rose Festival going on, Smoke in the Fort in Fort Gibson, Fin and Feather Fall Resort, and we just added the Westville Fall Fest. That's going on in Westville. That's their 10th anniversary for the Fall Fest. Again, you have so many choices this weekend, and try to hit them all and enjoy it because the weather's awesome. Not so much in Florida. We are looking at a big area of tropical disturbance that's going on here with a hurricane. We have a tropical storm now near Acapulco. And then the main one that we're going to be watching, it's Category 1 with 85-mile-an-hour winds as of 10 o'clock tonight. As we go through tonight and into tomorrow, we'll see 110-mile-per-hour winds tomorrow morning. And Category 2, and then it's Category 4 as we go on into tomorrow around 7 o'clock. That's going to be around the Apalachicola Bay, especially around the Bay Area, and then heading up toward Tallahassee. And so that is going to just kind of mess around, quickly moving north, though. And so winds could be at 140 miles an hour is the latest. And then kind of sits around Nashville and spins for a while and then starts to move on out. That's why we'll have a few clouds and a few areas of showers almost to the Arkansas state line. So our temperature timeline, here's something of interest, is that we will see through the weekend beautiful weather beginning of next week, cool and pleasant. By the end of the week, starting to get warm and could get doggone hot again. So we're not quite finished with that summer thing, I don't think. As far as what's happening right now, we're looking at that temperature, as we said, 70 degrees. Dew point at 51, so the air is very, very dry, and our temperatures are falling in the 50s. It is gorgeous right now, and in the morning it's going to be cool with generally low to mid 50s, kind of a precursor with a good fall weather coming up, and temperatures in the low 80s tomorrow afternoon. So what does our forecast look like? Overall, it is going to be awesome. We have only a slight chance of a passing sprinkle on the east side of Tulsa, more like along the Arkansas border on Friday. Otherwise, with the Tulsa State Fair and all the fall festivals going on, awesome weather ahead. That is Look at Your 9-Day Planner. We'll be right back.
Driven by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, this is News on 6 Sports with Justin Woodard.
Injuries piling up on the Sooners tops the Window World Sports Desk. The initial player availability report is out ahead of this week's SEC games. In addition to what we already know, OU will now be without wide receiver Nick Anderson at Auburn. Slot receiver Deion Burks is questionable. Fellow wideout Andrew Anthony and running back Taylor Tatum are both doubtful. And this sums it up too well. The Sooners are now also on their backup kicker. Can it get any worse? Looking for SEC win number 1. New starting quarterback Michael Hawkins Jr. will have to have his hands full, but he must protect the football. Good news here, though. The OU defense leads the country with 12 takeaways through 4 games, and the Tigers are tied for dead last in the nation with 14 turnovers lost. The Sooners D played really well against Tennessee, but knows there's still areas to improve.
We gave up some big plays. You don't win when you give up big plays. Simple. The running back's really good. Got a couple receivers. They got problems just like we got problems. But that'll be really fun to go there. First road game, first road test.
They got a quarterback controversy going on, great running backs. They got a good freshman receiver, a good receiver transfer from Penn State and Lambert. We'll need to hone in on the run game and things of that nature.
Well, like OU, OSU needs a road win at Kansas State this week to get to 1-1 in league play. For that to happen, the offense must crack the code, and it's really not a hard one. The Utah defense played cover 1 last week for a majority of the game, meaning one safety was deep. OSU, meanwhile, did not have an answer, throwing an interception or going 3 and out on 9 possessions. Kansas State lost its Big 12 opener in blowout fashion at BYU, but the Wildcats' defense was not the issue, giving up just over 240 total yards. OSU head coach Mike Gundy says the Cowboys need to be ready to make adjustments this week.
Our system is versatile enough that we can do a lot of things because we've been in it a long time. I just didn't feel like that we got to things that we needed to. We kind of beat our head against a wall for an extended period of time.
As a quarterback and as a receiver, you get excited for those opportunities because you make you look really good, or they can also make you look not as that great. I feel really good about this week. I really do. There's a fire lit underneath all of us.
It's hard to believe, but training camp opens in the NBA on October 1st to preview the 2024-2025 campaign. Thunder GM Sam Presti addressed the media this morning. OKC will look mostly the same this season with SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren leading the way. The Thunder, though, did add some key pieces in Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. OKC proved it can win with their young roster last year, earning the top seed in the Western Conference and winning a playoff series for the first time since the 2015-2016 season. But Presti knows year-to-year success is earned.
There's no silver platters in Oklahoma, but I would say anything is possible. It just can't be expected and shouldn't be expected to be handed over or to be easy. We, as an organization and as a team, have to earn our arrival.
It seems like this team is pretty down to earth, though. So, you know,
blue collar mentality. Is that fair to say? I mean,
I
just
love watching this team.
Go to work, clean slate, and see how the chips fall.
Work hard and see what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the city of Jenks is honoring one of its animal control officers. We're going to tell you what makes Fred Reed Day so special. The city of Jenks proclaims a special day for one of its animal control officers. The Jenks Police Department says Fred Reed started at the city animal shelter 27 years ago today, and over that time has helped thousands of animals and people. They say he has a huge heart for animals and making a difference. Police say Reed also helped grow the animal welfare program by improving the adoption process and connecting, oh man, that distracted me, and connecting with other organizations like the Humane Society.
That's awesome.
The snake got you?
The snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did it have to be snakes?
Snake is not that awesome.
I love the pictures, though. They're great pictures of him working.
Yep. And we need guys like that around.
Absolutely.
Hey, read it and weep with happiness.
With joy.
9-day forecast. And joy, 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 especially if you are going to be at one of the fall festivals, if you're going to be at the Tulsa State Fair. Other than a passing sprinkle in the far eastern part of our viewing area on Friday, this is an incredible forecast.
Nice start to the fair, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Travis.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.